Welcome to the bold analysis. We are in the county number 018, the county of Nyandarua. This place is very cold, but I can tell you we are here for a mission, and it's a mission that we must accomplish. So we'll get into that. Since last week on Thursday, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's current residents have witnessed unusual presence of military security officials drawn from Congo and is allegedly Burundi, Rwanda, and also Tanzania. And this has drawn attention from a section of media that has raised speculation around this. So I've been trying to come through. Of course, I saw that information on Sunday. So I've been trying to ask around and come through so that we can put it together. I know even some of you have also reached out and were asking me maybe that something about that information. So kindly just stick here. We are going to break it down in details and see what exactly is in stake. Kindly, thank you very much for supporting this podcast. We are doing Nyandarua Elderly Mission. For those who are listening it for the first time, we are building 3 houses for some 3 elderly members of the society. Yesterday on Monday, I did not shoot video. I did a video late because I spent better part of my time just doing the groundwork. We were with a team just trying to look around and see, and I can tell you that we are making significant progress. I think I did Kilifi, we did Kano, we are doing Nyandarua. This one is very, 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 very special because we are supporting elderly members of a community who are in a squatter camp. And that squatter camp, nyumba walijengewa as when they came. When they tell you they've been here for more than 40 years. Some of those houses were demolished, swept away by the floods, and they've not been able to come back to put up good structures. So we are building, we are supporting them. Yesterday I had the stories of Nyamira, Alice, and the other Mzee. I've also forgotten the name, the last Mzee. And they are really, really, really receptive and saying that this is going to be a very good game changer for them. Today, on Tuesday, we are putting 2 houses are going to be ready. So I'm shooting this video Kenyan time 7 a.m. Then immediately, we video utaiona baadaye. I think around 9 or 10 it will be there. I'll move straight to the nearest hardware so that we can buy materials. I would really be glad, because of the cost of transport, that we can buy material once for the 3 houses. So we still have a deficit, especially on the 3rd one. Yesterday I told we needed 6 for the 1 house and the 2nd one, which I think I can gladly report that the only deficit remaining on that 6 is around 7,000. So if whatever we are going to collect now from now moving forward is on the 3rd house, so technically we're into the 3rd house. I really want us to finish this project on Thursday. Just the day after tomorrow. Thursday, I think all of them is a nyumba zishakuwa zimesimama. So kindly support. We are into the 3rd house. Each house costs around 100. Kuweka plywood na hizo vitu zingine, and also hoping we can buy them some mattress. Like we normally do. We can buy them some mattress, at least that waingie kwa nyumba na mattress mpya. So we really, really hope that you can still plug in and in a way so that we achieve it. I'm telling you, we will achieve the mission. That's one thing I'm so sure about. That by the time we'll be leaving this place on Thursday, we shall have constructed those 3 houses. 5 days of this mission, and I believe that we can. So kindly support. Thank you very much for those who have been reacting, those who have been sending. I know nimekuwa field, so that's why I've not been able probably to reach out, but I'm really, really glad that we are doing something.
Hii ni meharate gishagi Ninaitwa Juguna Kamande na nilikuja hapa 63 na mimi nakaa mbaya, mimi nakaa peke yangu, sina na watoto, sina bibi, hata watu ndio wanasaidia mimi.
Majina ni Ale Sijoki Kinyanjui. Nakaa hapa kutoka 1960. Mimi niko hapa, niko na tapu ya nyumba.
Now, during Rigathi Gachagwa's stint as a deputy president, he made less trips to East African countries and even to Europe. I don't remember Rigathi went to Europe. I can't remember. But yes, he was in Italy at some point, probably. But it was really captured as that way. He was in Italy and Colombia. So, in fact, one of the diplomatic team, military diplomatic team, was one from Colombia. Apart from this, there was also the one from Colombia, that vice president who was also here at some point. Now, during the Rigathi Gachagwa's stint, he didn't make many trips to East Africa, and many times, whenever he leaves, he was being assigned to attend swearing in on behalf of the president. So. But of course, that shows you that he did not have a very strong diplomatic footprint. He did not make a very good diplomatic network, unlike Raila and even Uhuru Kenyatta. So for him to be able to consolidate this, that's another observation that I really want us to make, because it's a tendency for the president that they never give the deputy space to build that diplomatic network. And I think it cannot be something different from just insecurity of tenure. So what exactly is going on? Do you remember time, last week on Monday, there was a poster that Rigathi Gachagwa's team flagged as fake. And this is a poster a letter that allegedly the European Union had issued a statement that they stand in solidarity with Kenya in the decision to impeach the deputy. I also saw it, and yes, it was fake, but it was creating, and even the European Union also flagged it. The deputy president's team, the Kenyan media, and even the European Union flagged it. But of course, that letter was going to attract the attention in terms of what was going on. So what apparently is happening here, and that is what we've actually gathered, is that some quarters of around the deputy president that are working on a reunion on his way back to government had initiated some diplomatic communications so that they can lead Ruto reconciliation with his deputy. And why did the Rigathi pick this route? Now, this route was picked because apparently the DP has not been able to get audience with the president since that impeachment started. Remember the day that Rigathi said he received a call from Ruto on a Monday, the day the motion was supposed to go to parliament, and what Ruto told him, he concluded that he was alone in the fight, that Ruto was not going to support him, despite of the other reports of an attempt to try to salvage him from those MPs. So this has been going on, and it is also confirmed that on the weekend, there was a time Rigathi have had a phone conversation. Just through this intervention, he have had a phone conversation with the president, William Ruto, try to find a reconciliation path, but of course, not so much can be reported on outcome of that conversation. Probably it's still being kept a highly guarded secret about it. But if you look at what the other politicians are saying outside, they're really saying Kindiki is the deputy president. But one thing I realize is the way William Ruto works is these other fellows, Ruto works as behind the scheme. So that is what has been confirmed that this scheme, there is a diplomatic team that have been working behind the scene, and Rigathi Gachagua approached them to try to fix a meeting with the president, which at some point they're saying have happened. But Rigathi was also considering seeking asylum in another country. So that is one of the issues why he's also trying to get himself with the diplomatic space. So you would ask, why did the diplomatic military deployed around there? So apparently, remember when the impeachment happened, there were reports that Rigathi Gachagua's security was scaled down. And actually they were withdrawn when he was in the hospital. And someone tells me that at the time, it was not even a withdrawal. It was, they were summoned so that they would be asked to, they would be interrogated to explain what happened on how Rigathi Gachagua found his way out to Karen Hospital. Because apparently, I can tell you the script by the state collapsed at that point. When Rigathi pulled that trigger, when that happened and then he could not appear for the Senate, that was the string that is pulling all this together. Because if Rigathi Gachagua would have made his submissions in the Senate even that day, the Senate had already made a decision they were going to impeach Rigathi, but he wouldn't have had, an impetus to even push seek those conservative orders, because he already have had. Remember, one of the things he's going to be to take on court is to be unheard, to be heard. So this is working alongside the court space that I'll try to create more about it. So the reason why the diplomatic security had to go with the advanced security when they're visiting the deputy president's space is because of DP security was scaled down. But they were reinstated. The reason why they were reinstated is because they knew very well that at some point Rigathi would go to court and would also put that. He will also go to court on the grounds of mistreatment. That even though he was impeached, the security details were withdrawn immediately after the Senate voted to impeach the DP, but they pulled a string. And I think they had to reinstate because, number one, Rigathi was going to challenge that in court. Number two, if the person who is in charge of interior was going to be the person to be picked as the deputy president, then it was directly going to maybe show the country that probably Kindiki is amongst the team behind it. So, in an ironical twist, why this is happening, why there is a bit of disquiet on this, is because that Sudan crisis, which Ruto is now a chief peace mediator, started the political feud started between the president and his deputy. So Kenya is leading in that process, in that peace process, and it will be ironical if the president will not be embracing that. Now, I want to look at, now that is what I've been able to pick from that story. But what will be the stake of the international community? I think that's what the country probably now needs to question. In everything, you don't just look at the story and say, oh, this is a stake. What will be the stake of the international community? Are you really maybe keen that they are pushing for reconciliation? They are looking for the stability of the country. I remember Meg Whitman visited, the U.S. ambassador visited who is this? She visited the embassy, the IBC, and found out that said that the country is treading a dangerous path, being that they cannot be able is treading a dangerous path, being that they cannot be able to they cannot be able to get a good space for themselves, that they cannot be able to constitute that commission. I'm seeing three interests of the international community, and I'm not seeing them. The peace is not, the reunion to them, to me, is a smokescreen. But what will be their concern on Rigathi Ruto breakup? Number one, they have intel, and to me, that Ruto's tenure is very insecure in 2027. Now, this is something that I've seen people want to take a comfortable path and say that people will forget about Rigathi Gachagua in 2027, and so Mount Kenya will have to vote. I've seen people saying about I've seen people saying about if Rigathi is out, Raila Odinga axis is going to replace the Mount Kenya vote. But if you are analytical enough, if you are analytical and you take a very deep look into this, you will actually reconcile with the truth that Raila's political card is very unpredictable. As we speak, he seems to be out of that AUC race, and I'm a bit more convinced. I'm tempted to do that analysis, but bado staki chaos. I'm tempted to do that analysis because I'm not seeing him campaigning. Honestly, I'm not seeing him in the campaigns. I saw the former President Uhuru Kenyatta in West Africa. I thought they would be with Raila campaign. I did not see it. I'm not seeing any member of Raila Odinga's AUC campaign with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. So we have the intel on Rutos in tenure insecurity of tenure. That would be their worry. And I've always been saying here, Raila's vote in Western, those numbers are not so promising. Because number one, the Western is not as one house as we may really want to believe, but probably with Raila can hand over constituency. And the ODM party will fight with UDA, and by the time elections will come, because ODM will field candidates everywhere, and they will want to get a stake. It is not going to be very easy. So probably they are looking at that and they are finding if things break, probably their interest is they continue putting Ruto as the president. Their interest is not to put Rigathi Gachagua or another candidate, because Ruto has been serving such interest. Number two is the Kenyan election secrets. 2022 election have kind of secrets, and Rigathi Gachagua could be working out with those secrets. Now, working out with those secrets will then really open a battlefront for Ruto candidature with his opponent. So they will want to keep this team because if they really played a part and Rigathi Gachagua was part of that, I can tell you, do you know that even in 2013 and 2017, our election was not that hygienic. It was not that clean. But even in 2022, as William Ruto was getting to the elections, he really tried to play tricks in the national community, but could not tell you. He could not revisit on what happened in 2017 because it was part and parcel of that. And I do believe that he might have inherited. When some people tell you that diplomatic team told Uhuru Kenyatta to just hand over, I don't take those statements lightly. It was something that could really happen. The other issue, I think, Rigathi is joining opposition fronts with bundles of William Ruto's multi-billion secrets. That would be the interest. Now, Ruto has not listened to the church. There was an attempt by the church. It failed. Yeah, they held a meeting a day before Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment motion was tabled in the National Assembly. It didn't go through. Now, there is this battle. There is this other front of the diplomatic team. I think it's good Rigathi has tried. If you ask me, we never expected it will reach to this point. We never expected it will drag in court. If you look at that, the jet speed, the impeachment was being pushed in the legislature, you will not believe that 2 weeks later, Kindiki is not yet sworn in. You will not believe that. I think we need to be reconciled with that truth. Everyone knew that immediately this is done, this is done. So Rigathi has really moved, he really fought it. But I think looking at the toxic environment in government, it is good he's made these efforts. But if I was to, I know I don't have the range to advise, but if I was to say quick, my 2 penny advice would be this 4. One, just seek political rights and throw the towel. If you can get the political rights, because he's a politician, Rigathi is not a lawyer, Rigathi is not an accountant, that he will leave politics and go and become an accountant or become a lawyer. He's a politician, so if a political career is politics, that is his space. If he can salvage his political career, that will be it. But the ultimate goal would be to make an exit. I know resignation before the impeachment process was going to be a coward. It was going to be a cowardice move because they're like, you're walking guilty. Why don't you go through the process? So he waited. But now he's fighting the legal battle. The battle is there. And the truth is, the court process in that high court and even court of appeal is so predetermined. I've seen the Rigathi's team are saying they're rushing to the court of appeal to appeal the high court decision because, according to them, the high court is just moving, is going to lift the orders, then Kindiki will be sworn in immediately. But they want to make sure that they appeal immediately. That decision is made, they appeal. But I don't know how you are going to appeal against a decision that has not been made. So the court of appeal, high court is a bit more predictable. I think an interpretation from Supreme Court will work better. An interpretation from Supreme Court will work better. The only one Supreme Court judge that has been involved in this case is Philomena Lumuilu. The rest have not. But I know there is juris pesa. So not so much also to believe in that. He has many enemies in government. And Ruto is just the catalyst. That's one thing I realized. From that impeachment, from the impeachment charge sheet, Rigathi will agree with us that there's so many enemies and Ruto is just one. So he will not, the president Ruto might not function his a situation that his reunion has also been brokered by the diplomatic team because he wants that to be, he doesn't want to be seen since the public have already been told that Ruto is a puppet of the West. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my statement on this. I think I've clarified. Quite a number of us had reached out and were asking, Kevin, what about this story? That is what on my end I've gathered. So let's meet. Kindly support Granny Care, Elderly Mission in Nyandarua, as we really embark on the real work today on Tuesday. I think by leo tutakuwa tushaona hizo manyumba zimesimama. I really even want the third one, hata waanze kuchimba nini, waanze kuleka hizo mamiti and the work should start. So guys, thank you. Let's meet in the next.